Continuing to follow that breaking news out of Harrisburg tonight. Good evening, I'm Valerie Pritchett.
And I'm Mike Parker in for Flora tonight. And we do have this breaking news here. The FBI arresting a teenager accused of supporting ISIS. Take a look. Our cameras were there as the cars arrived this afternoon on the 1700 block of Fulton Street in the city of Harrisburg. We have team coverage of this starting with Amanda St. Hilaire, who is live in the city tonight. Amanda, what can you tell us?
Mike, Val, I was just inside the federal building in the courtroom. That's where 19-year-old Jalil Abin Amir Aziz was for his hearing. At one point, I was standing just a few feet away from him. He was wearing what appears to be pajamas, very soft-spoken, not much to say during the entire proceeding. But he's the one who is accused of supporting ISIS. And essentially, this proceeding was about the judge making sure he had an attorney, and they set up a hearing for next week to act as a preliminary hearing and a detention hearing. So he will be in jail until then. The judge did go over the severity of the charges against Aziz. The FBI says, and the U.S. Justice Department says, he used at least 57 different Twitter accounts to spread ISIS propaganda.
Samantha Galvez continuing our live team coverage. Samantha.
Yeah, right now we are on Kelker Street. Behind me, Fulton Street is blocked off. You can see the first house right here where there's a light. I'm going to step aside. That is where we've been seeing FBI agents walking in and out, carrying boxes. They've been here just after 2 this afternoon. Again, the U.S. Department of Justice saying the man inside that home attempting to aid ISIL. 19-year-old Jalil Abin Amir Aziz charged in a 2-count criminal complaint. He allegedly conspired and attempted to provide material to support ISIL. Inside his home, FBI found a backpack containing weapons, ammunition, a knife, and other survival items. Aziz used 57 different Twitter accounts to advocate violence against the U.S. He also posted the names and addresses of hundreds of members of U.S. military. Again, the case is still under investigation. Not too much activity happening at this point. There are still cars out in front of the home. But again, as this continues to unfold, this developing story, we will update you on air and online at abc27.com. Working for you live in Harrisburg, Samantha Galvez, ABC 27 News.
Sam live there on Fulton Street tonight with this breaking news. And as we continue to uncover more details in this investigation, of course, we will let you know. There is a press conference happening at 5:30 tonight at a mosque in Harrisburg. We're going to provide updates on that developing story as well.
And we continue to follow this breaking news with Congressman Lou Barletta, representing Pennsylvania's 11th Congressional District.
He serves on 3 House committees, including the House Homeland Security Committee and the Counterterrorism and Intelligence Subcommittee. Congressman Barletta, can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
All right, thank you so much for joining us. Well, of course, you are tuned in to this type of thing involving terrorism and, of course, ISIS there in Washington. I'm just going to ask you right off the top here, what are you feeling right now, knowing something that there's an incident with alleged ties to this terrorist organization right here in Harrisburg, PA?
Well, first of all, I want to commend the FBI's Joint Terrorism Task Force for their great work. We know that America is ISIS' #1 target. There's no question about that. They said so.
And we are continuing to follow breaking news out of Harrisburg tonight.
The FBI arresting a teenager in the city of Harrisburg. He's accused of supporting ISIS.
Our camera's there as the cars arrive this afternoon on the 1700 block of Fulton Street.
And we have team coverage of this starting with our Amanda St. Hilaire live in Harrisburg tonight, outside of the federal courthouse where a hearing just wrapped up. Amanda?
Mike, Val, just a few minutes ago, we saw several black sedans pulling out of the garage underneath the federal building. The windows were heavily tinted, so it's unclear whether Jalil Abin Amir Aziz was in the backseat. That's the 19-year-old accused of helping ISIS.
Lots of questions about this 19-year-old suspect. In the meantime, federal agents and police remain at that scene of the home along Fulton Street in Harrisburg,
collecting evidence, including a backpack and weapons. Samantha Galvez, also live in Harrisburg, continuing our team coverage. Samantha.
Fulton Street is still blocked off. I'm going to move right now. There is a person at the door. They just walked right inside. Recently, we saw a canine go in as well. FBI been in here since 2 o'clock all day. The U.S. Department of Justice saying the man inside that home attempting to aid ISIL. Now, 19-year-old Jalil Amir Aziz charged in a 2-count criminal complaint. He allegedly conspired and attempted to provide material to support ISIL. Inside his home, FBI found a backpack containing weapons, ammunition, a knife, and other survival items. Aziz used 57 different Twitter accounts to advocate violence against the U.S. He also posted the names and addresses of hundreds of members of U.S. military. Again, this scene is dying down a little bit. We did talk to some neighbors who say that they had no idea what was going on. Many folks just coming home to this after work thinking it was a shooting or some other kind of crime scene. Very shocked by this news, and again, we'll continue to provide you updates as this story begins to unfold.
Right now, you are looking at the Whtm Mosque, where we're expecting a news conference to start soon.
This here in downtown Harrisburg, and we were actually planning on heading over to the mosque this afternoon before we learned of this breaking news involving this teenager who's been taken into custody, alleged to have ties to ISIS, supporting them through various social media channels. Now, the folks at the Whtm Mosque, we've spoken to them over the past several weeks and months. In fact, anytime we have, radical Islam and terrorism connections in the news, and tonight they were actually set to hold an event where they were calling for calm and having a dinner with the community. So,
an understanding.
We'll find out what's going on with that event. That was a live look inside of the mosque, and we plan to go live there as more details unfold here. But again, breaking news tonight out of Harrisburg is a teenager taken into custody with alleged connections to the terror group ISIS.
Yeah, it's just out of court and was taken away from the federal courthouse in Harrisburg.
Jalil Aziz was taken into federal custody today, about an hour ago, in fact. He's alleged to have connections to the terror group ISIS. Kendra Nichols live tonight at a mosque in Harrisburg with more. Kendra, what's going on there?
Well, we're here at the Whtm Mosque in Harrisburg on Division Street. Right now, people are going inside. They already had an event planned for tonight. I can tell you that the mayor just walked inside. Ironically, the message here tonight was Muslims for loyalty, that Muslims are loyal to the country that they live in. Now, the members at the mosque here, I just was inside talking to them, and they said that they were shocked to hear the news that a 19-year-old from Harrisburg was arrested for his alleged ties to terrorists. Now, the suspect does have an Arabic name, but it is not clear at this time if he is Muslim.
I just heard about it actually myself 5 minutes ago, and I have to say, it's not just as a Muslim, but as a human being. It's a very terrifying thought that there's still people out there who intend to do harm to valuable innocent life. And again, it's just something that for now I can just say I'm in shock with everybody else, and something that we just categorically reject.
Again, the Whtm Mosque already having this event planned for tonight. It is going to run until 7 o'clock tonight. It is open to the public, and they said they are open to discussing the news of the day. We're going to stay here this evening and bring you much more coming up tonight at 6. Working for you in Harrisburg, Kendra Nichols, ABC 27 News.
Kendra, how's attendance been so far? What have you noticed?
Attendance at this event?
Correct,
I'm sorry, I couldn't quite hear your question.
Yes, attendance at the event.
People are still coming in. People are still coming in at this time. I'd say there's at least 50 people in there. Remember, this event was already planned, so there were some dignitaries already scheduled to be here. One of them was the mayor, but they're hoping now that people hearing this news will feel more welcome to come in here and ask questions about the Muslim community. Again, they will be here until 7 o'clock.
Thank you, Kendra.
Kendra Nichols live in Harrisburg tonight. As we continue to follow breaking news tonight, 19-year-old Jalil Ibn Amir Aziz of Harrisburg was taken into custody today by federal authorities who allege that he has ties to the terror group ISIS. Now, we do not know at this time if this suspect, Jalil Aziz, is in fact of the Muslim faith. However, another event that was happening in Harrisburg today by Muslims looked to bring the community together to talk about issues such as terrorism.
Yeah, you're taking a look right now at the Whtm Mosque, which is in Harrisburg, and there are speakers going on right now. They had planned a dinner tonight, wanting to build bridges with the community. We'll take a listen.
It is important that people in Harrisburg know that despite the arrest today of a person in Harrisburg with alleged ties to ISIS, there are thousands of Muslims who are promoting peace, tolerance, and interfaith dialogue. We cannot let the actions of a deranged madman affect the perception of an entire faith community.
Good evening, I'm Dennis Owens.
I'm Alicia Richards. Glad you're with us tonight. And of course, we continue to follow this breaking news. A terror suspect arrested in Harrisburg today.
ABC 27 News on the scene today as police searched a home on Fulton Street where they took the suspect into custody. He's accused of spreading support for ISIS through the internet. We have live team coverage beginning with Amanda St. Hilaire at the Federal Building in Harrisburg. Amanda.
Thank you.
19-year-old Jaleel Abin Amir Aziz had a court hearing inside the federal building. It was a quick one. Basically, the judge just made sure he had legal representation, and they set a date for next week, December 23rd at 3 p.m. for him to have a full preliminary hearing and a detainment hearing. But Aziz will be in jail until that hearing happens. Aziz did not have much to say during the hearing. Very soft-spoken. At one point, the judge had to ask him to speak up because the court reporter was having trouble hearing him, usually just giving yes or no answers.
Mid-State Congressman Scott Perry going to give us some insight now.
Yeah, Perry's on the Homeland Security and Foreign Affairs committees. He is very up to date. Congressman, thank you for joining us. What are you hearing about this?
Well, thanks, Alicia and Dennis. Of course, I'm hearing what the DOJ reported, basically the same open source information that you have, and certainly I don't think we want to speculate. And I want to say that I wish I weren't right about this, but literally people like me and, of course, I have been saying for months that these things are going to happen.
Our breaking news coverage continues now with our Samantha Galvez. She is at the Fulton Street home where federal authorities arrested Aziz. He was living there with his parents. Sam, set the scene for us.
Yeah, FBI agents just came out here right now and said the home is clear. Just moments ago, that tape on Fulton Street dropped down. The last of the final cars finally drove out. I'm going to step aside. The home right there with the light, that is the house that they have been raiding for several hours. Again, we have been told that the home is clear. 19-year-old Jaleel Abin Amir Aziz charged in a 2-count criminal complaint. He allegedly conspired and attempted to provide material to support ISIL. Inside his home, FBI found a backpack containing weapons, ammunition, a knife, and other survival items. Aziz used different Twitter accounts, 57 to advocate violence against the U.S. He also posted the names and addresses of hundreds of members of U.S. military.
And this one guy could do so much damage. You never know what he's capable of doing. And the internet reaches out to millions and millions and millions of people. You never know what he could do. So it's a good thing they stopped it when they did.
Again, we want to reiterate the scene is clear. We've got the tape is gone. All the cars are gone. We are also safe ourselves. We're about to go over and see if we can talk to some neighbors to get any more answers. And of course, we'll continue to update you on air and online at abc27.com. Working for you live in Harrisburg, Samantha Galvez, ABC 27 News.
Okay, Samantha, thank you so much. And we continue to follow this breaking news. And joining us now is a former Homeland Security Director, one of the first anti-terror guys in our history since 9/11, former Governor Tom Ridge. Governor, thanks so much. You're now with Ridge Global in Washington, D.C. First of all, just your reaction to today's headline.
Well, a couple of things come to mind, Dennis. First of all, kudos to the FBI. I mean, we've been thinking about this kind of incident since 2001 when I went to the White House to work with the president.
Now, leaders of a Harrisburg mosque just spoke about today's terror arrest.
Our Kendra Nichols is there. Kendra?
Well, Alicia and Dennis, let me bring you up to speed. I'm outside the Hadi Mosque on Division Street in Harrisburg. This mosque has been here for at least 20 years. They already had an event planned for this evening. Ironically, the title was Muslims for Loyalty. That was the topic that they were going to be talking about tonight. I believe we can take you inside and show you a live picture of what's happening inside. I'd say there's at least 100 people inside. This event open to the public. Several speakers already this evening, community leaders, law enforcement. Mayor Pappenfuss of Harrisburg already spoke, and he told the crowd inside that thousands of Muslims are promoting peace and tolerance, and he encouraged the members of the Muslim community here in Harrisburg to continue their work with the community, saying the Muslims that he knows here are peaceful ones.
We want to recap the breaking news story. The FBI arrested a terror suspect in Harrisburg today. He is 19-year-old Jaleel Abin Amir Aziz. SWAT teams arrested him at his home in the 1700 block of Fulton Street.
Investigators say he was spreading ISIS propaganda on the internet. We will keep you updated on this story online, of course, also on the air and on our mobile news app. And yeah, go ahead.
I was just saying, coming up tonight at 7 o'clock, we have a security expert who's going to be in here live. Tell us what is going on and how we can protect ourselves.
That's going to be great. We'll listen in for that. In the meantime, World News is next.
More local news, of course, coming your way at 7 and 11. We hope to see you then. Have a good night.